What's going on, man?
Hey Tim, how's it going, man?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. Obviously, you have a great event going on today. You don't mind just talking a little bit about it, your partnership with Allstate and the Good Works team in New Orleans?
Yes, it's awesome. Well, if you can hear the blenders going on outside, it's actually because of the smoothie station that's right behind me. We're here at Son of a Saint doing a mentor day with so many amazing young men who unfortunately have lost a father. But Son of a Saint mentors them and gives them so many amazing opportunities. And so we're breaking up into stations, and just had the chance to one, celebrate with all the Good Works team members, but then also give back together. And I'm just so proud of all these young men for not just what they do on the field, but more importantly, who they are and the way they serve off of the field. And I love that Allstate gives us the chance to celebrate these young men as members of the Good Works team and the partnership of people coming together from AFCA to the Werfel Trophy and the Werfel Foundation to so many people. If you just we're here, you could see how many people have come together to make an impact. And I also love that the reach of it. Hear so many of the stories of these young men, and it's not just in their communities, but it's around the world, whether that's like Gavin Sawchuk in South Africa, teaching kids how to play soccer, or it's JJ Weaver starting his own foundation, or so many of these amazing young men that are truly having ripple effects that are going to last for generations.
It's definitely amazing work. And I have to ask you because you've been so involved when it comes to helping the community and doing different work outside, outside your play on the football field. What has inspired you over the years to be so committed to helping others and just giving back?
Well, just that it matters so much more, and I gave so much to just trying to be the best I could on a field or a diamond or a court for so much of my life. And if I was willing to give so much to play a game with a broken leg or broken arm or give up vacations or so, then why wouldn't I do it for something that matters so much more than a game? And if you say all of those things, and many times in my life, I could have probably given you the right answer of the priorities, but it didn't mean they were necessarily, if you cut my heart open, they would have been the priorities of my heart. And so, why it's so important is because even though we love sports and games so much, there are things that are more important. What we're doing here today is more important. What these young men are doing so much of their life is more important. The impact. The change, the hope, the faith, the love that is demonstrated and showed. It is more important than the game. And I've just given a lot to the game, and I hope I would give even more to things that really matter.
It's amazing. And one of your frequent collaborators, you said Danny Werfel, but you know
Yeah, he's here just outside.
I got a chance to speak with him back at the Heisman event. Uh,
Nice.
I just want to, you guys, just your together, your chemistry, your history. Can you just speak to that? I see you guys have just such this great connection.
Well, Danny was a huge role model for me and honestly a hero. And he was someone that my parents pointed to all the time as a young Gator fan and saying, look, if Danny could do that, and one day if you ever got the chance, would you do those things? And I remember when Danny came to my church when I was probably, I don't around 8 years old, and I was probably the 120th kid in line. And he waited and signed all the autographs, and I still have that autograph on the church bulletin hung up in my parents' house to this day. And you realize the impact of what a role model can do for young boys and young girls. And he was a massive role model for me. And then when I got the chance to go to Florida and get to know him better, and then when I was so fortunate to win the Heisman, I'm walking on stage and I'm getting to hug, Steve Spurrier and Danny Werfel, and you just realize what a responsibility it is to have a platform. And Danny is someone that made a big impact in my life, and I really will be forever grateful.
It's amazing. And, you obviously talk about so much about mentorship and Danny Werfel kind of being a mentor to you as well. You were talking about the Heisman and you were at this year's ceremony. Travis Hunter is the big winner. Did you get a chance to speak with him and like talk to him? I know it was his big moment, as well, and welcome him to the club officially.
Yes, I sure did. I got to see him, welcome him, congratulate him. I got to actually see him the night before and then the night of, and then actually the next day as well, before everybody went their separate ways. So, really amazing young man. He's when people write about him or they talk about him on Sports Center, it's always the exciting plays and the flash. But when you really get to know him, he's kind, he's humble. He you get to meet his family and friends and loved ones that were with him, and it's fun to see behind the scenes. And it's a really amazing young man, hard worker, dedicated, and it just oozes out of him, and extremely sincere, and really just proud of him the way he's represented the Heisman, and just also love the way that he finished the year. I know they didn't win, but you just look at the effort, look at the way he represented Colorado and Dion and just everything, and it's just he's done it with such energy and passion and joy. And I just really believe it's contagious. Like I want to be around it.
Oh, that's a good thing, definitely for him going into his next level, his next step as a professional. I do have to ask you about college football. I can't help. Obviously, you have your great history in Florida and everything that you've done. What are your thoughts on the expanded playoff that we're experiencing right now for the first time? It's obviously first year. I'm just curious. What are your thoughts?
I I personally I love the idea and the premise of an expanded playoff. I do think there are some things that need to be adjusted and fixed, but I love it. I think it's made so much of the season even more competitive. I love the drama in the end of October, November, early December. I don't think it's a perfect system yet. I know some people are upset, but let's I think we've made progress. Let's continue to adapt and make it even better in the future.
I like that. It's always something they got to tinker with, but I definitely hear where you're coming from. I got two NFL questions for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
This one, obviously, one of the biggest stories this season are the Chiefs going for the three-peat. They got the best record in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes quarterback, so there's always so much attention there. What are your thoughts? Do you feel like this team can actually make history and be the first team to get the three-peat done?
that's a really good question. I haven't studied them a lot, like breaking down film. I think when you have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and so many of this Kelsey and so many of the staples that they have, you're always going to have a really good chance. Um, I think that Patrick deserves all the hype and credit he gets, and so many of the players, but I also think that Andy Reid deserves a lot of credit. And I just think you look at what he has done for so much of his career, and it's been exceptional. Play calling, third downs, red area, developing quarterbacks. It's just so many incredible steps that he is. Um, and then you got over the hump once he got to Kansas City. But remember, he went to a Super Bowl in Jacksonville against the Patriots and lost to Tom Brady when he was with the Eagles. And so, very successful coach. And I just love the way that players want to play for him. And like you see the commercials that he's in. How many other coaches are doing that type of thing? I really think does a great job of kind of being a player's coach. And I think right now in 2024, he's got a really good thing going. And so it's a special team. And I think they have a chance to do something very exceptional.
Definitely a good chance. And like I said, it's my last question, and I do have to bring it up because we're going into the wild card playoffs starting soon. You had one of the greatest wild card performances in NFL history with that big win against the Steelers in overtime back in 2011. What do you remember most about that time and just
Oh,
that moment, I should say, from that game-winning
yeah.
touchdown that everyone talks about still?
Brotherhood and belief that that team was just a special team that probably wasn't in every way the best team, meaning like did we have all the perfect pieces? Maybe not, but man, that was a team that was close, that team that never quit. It was a team that people throw the word brotherhood a lot, like you really feel like it was. Um, one of the coolest things is when you watch the touchdown to DT to win the game. If you look at the wide copy, you'll see Champ Bailey, one of the best cornerbacks to ever do it, is on the sideline running almost as fast as DT. Like that's a however many year vet that invested in an overtime. Like it was just, the veterans we had, the Brian Dawkins, the Champ Baileys, the Doomervilles, like, and then you had the young guys, the Von Millers and DTs and Eric Deckers, but the relationship, the camaraderie, the never say die attitude, I think it was just so special. And that's what I think I'll always, take away that I think just made us different was that sense of belief together and we're not going to quit.
Definitely. It's one of those things where you look forward to the playoffs. You're always going to have that highlight of you throw that pass, everything going on, and then the crowd going crazy. So just know,
That was a very special one, and yeah, every time we think about it, we miss DTs as well.
definitely rest in peace. And
Yeah.
Tim, thank you so much for your
My
time.
pleasure, man. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for that was a fun interview. Thank you.
Hey, man, thank you.